Alright, so today I have swatches of the KBShimmer Falloween collection for fall and Halloween 2018. There are 10 polishes here. I have 11. Oh, this is a top coat. Okay, I'm dumb. So 10 polishes here altogether, and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called the Snuggle Is Real, and this is a lighter, kind of like beigey nude color. I don't do great describing all the different shades of a neutral. This one is a bit streaky on that first coat, but not terrible. It almost has, and it's very, very, very subtle, but it almost has a little bit of a more jelly finish than I was expecting. And a pretty good formula on this one as well. I think it's a little bit on the thin side, but that is coming from someone that prefers thicker polishes, so that's going to be more of a personal preference thing. So you can see this one dried down a little bit more sheer than it was when it was wet, but it does look like it's going to cover completely on that second coat. And I will say that this does level itself out really nicely, and it does dry pretty shiny as well. So that is 2 coats of the Snuggle Is Real. So the next polish is called Take It or Leave It, and this is a clear-based multi-chrome flaky topper. This has those really warm multi-chrome flakies that go from green to gold to orange to maybe red, depending on what your interpretation of orange and red are. Really cool fall flaky topper. I am layering this over the Snuggle Is Real because it's already on my nails. So here is 1 coat. You can see that this isn't super, super dense. I think you probably wouldn't want to try to wear this on its own. Definitely more suited as a topper because I think you would be layering forever. I'm even dipping back in a little bit to try to get enough to evenly spread everything out. Good formula on this one as well. And since these are flakies, they're not going to need to be scrubbed off, and they're not going to dry with any texture on the nail either. So that is 1 coat of Take It or Leave It. The next polish is called Hide and Eke, and this is a really nice white crelly. It's got a lot of really fine glitter in it, nothing really chunky. Purple, green, orange, black, yellow, all of those perfect Halloween colors. So here is 1 coat. It is going to be a bit sheer on that first coat. I'm assuming I'll need 3. I think I did 3 for my swatch pictures because the white base does need to be made a little bit more sheer in crellies, or else it would cover up the glitter. And good formula on this one as well. So that white base is starting to build up on that second coat, and the glitter is starting to build up as well. I am still going to add a 3rd, though I do have a little bit of nail line showing, and then I also just really like my white crellies to have like a really white base, which usually requires a 3rd coat. And since this is glitter in here, this is going to dry a bit textured, and the glitter is going to be a bit more difficult to remove. So this one does cover completely for me in 3 coats. And like I said before, you might be fine in 2, it's just going to depend on your preference. I like it better in 3. And you could always layer this over white as well if you want that really white base without having to do all the coats, but then you're going to have to end up doing extra coats of white anyway, so I think it evens out to about the same. So that is 3 coats of Hide and Eke. The next polish is called Smashed, and this is an orange holographic. So I can see a bit of nail line with this one on that first coat, but it does cover pretty well. Really strong holographic in this polish, and good formula. So this one does cover completely for me in 2 coats, and you can see that that deepens the color a bit as well. And the holographic on this one is, like pretty much all holographics, much stronger once it's fully dry. And it's hard to tell with the hollow in there, but the polish itself does dry a little bit dull, so you will want top coat. So that is 2 coats of Smashed. The next polish is called Full Moon, and this is a blue to green to gold multi-chrome. So this is a little bit sheer on that first coat. I can still see my nail line, and I am trying to be careful to make sure that the brush strokes are as straight as possible. Usually I can tell how shifty a multi-chrome is going to be when I'm doing these videos because I will see a different color from the angle that I'm looking at it from than I'm looking at in the viewfinder. And this is going to be really green and gold heavy. It looks a bit more green to me in person, but the viewfinder is picking up a lot of gold. I don't see a ton of that blue. I think that's going to take more extreme angles to show up. and good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. It did look 100% opaque from some angles on the first coat, but then from other ones you could still see the nail line. Those brush strokes that are there when it's wet did smooth out a bit, but not 100%, so you do still want to be careful to try to make those straight. And it seems to be drying, I don't know, it doesn't really look dull, but it doesn't really look shiny either. It's kind of hard to tell with multi-chromes. Either way, you should use top coat. So that is 2 coats of Full Moon. The next polish is called Absinthe Minded, and this is a purpley blue-green multi-chrome. You can see some slight orange stuff going on here in the bottle, but I don't think you're going to be able to pick that up on your nails at all. So like the other one, this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. Looking at it from my angle with my eyes, it looks like it's still very green. It's green in the viewfinder and from my angle, but it's more blue-green to me and a little more gold green in the viewfinder. So those are probably going to be the main colors that you're going to see on here, aside from the flashes of blue that you'll get in very extreme angles. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. And with this one, most of those brush strokes do smooth out as it dries, just like the last one. And you will want top coat. I do think these are drying a little bit dull. I don't know why it was so hard for my eyes to pick up on the last one, but I can see a bit of dullness with this one. So that is 2 coats of Absinthe Minded. The next polish is called Spell Check, and this is a deep blue jelly base with these shifting iridescent flakies in it. They look like they shift between like a teal, blue, a purple, and then you can see some like yellowy gold colors, very extreme angles in the bottle. Again, you usually see those in the bottle just because the glass helps bring that color out, but when you get it on the nail, you can't quite get it at the angle that's required for those colors to come out. So this one is in a jelly base, so it is sheer on that first coat. These flakies that are in here give off this like shattered, I don't know, little shattered glass looking effects. Good formula on this one. I actually expected this to be on the thicker side, and it's really not at all. I do think you're going to have some of those flakies sticking up when it's dry though. So on 2 coats, I feel like I can still see a little bit of my nail line. I'm going to pull it closer to my face here and just double check. Yes, I can. So that second coat is deepening the color up a bit, but I am going to add a third to try to cover up that nail line. It does seem to dry dull, so you will want top coat, and I wasn't like thrilled with the amount of flakies that I got out on that first coat, but with the addition of the ones in the second coat, they're starting to build up and it is looking a lot nicer. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats. Looking at that second coat, I think I'm being a little picky by adding it. I do think the color gets a little bit deeper on 3. But depending on your application or your preferences, you could get away with 2, I think, pretty easily. And there's a little bit of texture to this when it's fully dry, but not as much as I was expecting for these little flakes. I think you'll still definitely want top coat, but it wasn't as rough as I thought it was going to be. I misjudged this polish on like all kinds of levels. So that is 3 coats of Spell Check. The next polish is called Creep It Together, and this is a really shifty multi-chrome holographic. It has pink and gold and green and blue and purple, but it also has shifty multi-chrome flakes in it as well. So this one is very opaque on that first coat, not 100% opaque, but close. That kind of pinky brown color that you see there I think is going to be the more dominant color. That's pretty much what I'm looking at for my angle as well. Yeah, I think depending on your application, you could probably get this opaque in 1 coat because it is very, very close. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. Like I said, very, very close on 1. I think even the average person could probably get it opaque in 1 coat. There are some brush strokes when this polish is wet, but those do go away. All the things I forgot to say in the first coat. Flakies, I feel like, don't stand out super well. You do kind of lose them in the polish a bit. They're way more subtle than I would like to have seen them. Formula, I also think, is a little bit on the thick side. It's not too thick for me, but I think if you're not a thick formula kind of person, you might find this one just a little bit thick. But formula preferences and stuff, that's like very individual person to person. Unless it's like really, really obviously bad on one end or the other, it's going to come down to a lot of personal preference. So that is 2 coats of Creep It Together. The next polish is called Here for the Booze, and this is a silver holographic micro glitter, like packed silver holographic micro glitter in an orange jelly base. This polish has a lot of glitter in it, so it actually is pretty opaque on that first coat. Not completely, but close. And the orange base is very nicely saturated and as well. I can't speak today, which is helping with that opacity. And for being so packed with glitter, this isn't thick at all. Really good formula. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. It doesn't really change the color too much, but it does cover up that nail line. This polish is pretty much all glitter, so it is going to be very textured. You're going to want a top coat, maybe 2 coats of top coat to smooth it out. And without a peel-off base coat, it is going to take a lot of scrubbing to remove it. So that is 2 coats of Here for the Booze. And the last polish is called Best Witches, and just like the last one, this is absolutely packed with silver holographic micro glitter, and this is in a purple jelly base. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. Again, it will need to build up, but it does cover really well for what it is. A ton of glitter in here. I feel like this one is a little bit more sheer than the orange was. That might just be because it's a darker color and the nail underneath stands out a little bit better. But either way, it's dense enough to cover in 2 coats, and formula is really good on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats, and I think it makes that base a bit more purpley, a bit deeper. Not too much, but a little bit. Like the last one, this is going to dry very textured. You're going to need a thick top coat, maybe even 2 coats of it, depending on which one you're using. And without a peel-off base coat, it is going to take a significant amount of scrubbing to remove, because that's just how glitter is. So that is 2 coats of Best Witches. Okay, so I have 2 favorites here. No surprise, I'm gonna say Hide and Eek is one of my favorites because I just love that green, orange, purple, black glitter mix for Halloween, and it's in a white Crelly and it's little tiny glitters, and it's just, it couldn't be more perfect for me. The other one that I really liked was Spell Check, because these flakies that are in here like glow out of the inside of this polish, and they stand out so well, but it's still really dark and vampy, and it's like you have a light, so you have a little LED light on in your nails. It's so cool. So I really like this one as well. So that is the KBShimmer Falloween collection for fall and Halloween 2018. Again, I will link the KBShimmer website down below where you guys can check those out. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.